Hi, this is Gia, luxury brand equity partner. And today I'm going to be diving into the world of brand management, more specifically as it relates to independent luxury fashion and beauty brands that are navigating such a complex space. We know that we're in a space that is super highly creative and commercial all at the same time. And I want to talk about not only just brand management, but the importance of multidisciplinary partnerships and how it's going to fuel long-term growth in the future, how it's going to fuel brand equity and just the relevance and the sustainability of a brand long term. So, if you are a founder operating independently, specifically within the fashion and beauty space, you do know that fashion and beauty has always been obsessed with externals, with success metrics or vanity metrics, I should say. But at the end of the day, this is a very legacy endowed space. You are in business not only just with direct competitors, but competitors that are taking up the space or have a huge share of the luxury market. And this, what I'm talking about. It's legacy companies. So, but I would say to you that you are at a much strategic advantage more than ever before. You're able to operate with much more clearer differentiation and storytelling. You are free from those legacy systems, or having hundreds of executives within your company that can slow down decision making or business growth. Just last year, more interestingly, we've seen a lot of conglomerates recalibrate their brand portfolios. We've seen a lot of creative director and executive changes. We've seen some revenue instability, and in fact, they're still bouncing back from that last year because of the ongoing price hikes. They lost a significant share of aspirational shoppers, and so now shoppers are flocking to more accessible and affordable luxury options where they can still get the quality, they can get the experience, but they're paying a lot less. So I definitely see a huge advantage for independent luxury fashion and beauty brands because, like I said, they have a strong differentiation when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to experiences, and just learning. They know how to build a direct connection with the consumers of today. But with all of those changes, and even with the advantage that you have, there are a lot of factors that you have to consider for brand growth. So, when it comes to brand growth, there's so many different ways to grow a brand within these spaces. And some of the most traditional pathways when it comes to luxury fashion and beauty has been PR and communications. And so we'll dive into that in just a few. But right off the bat, in order to grow a brand within a competitive space like this, you want to determine what does involvement look like for you as a founder for years to come. So if you're a fashion brand, what does creative direction look like for you in the near future and years to come? If you're a beauty founder, how will you balance science and experience? So that's one area. And then you can look at things like capital. So a lot of founders, they begin starting off through bootstrapping. Is this something that you'll continue to do, or will you seek outside investment? Do you want to be acquired by a major conglomerate someday? And what are some of the steps that you need to take to get there? And beyond that short-term media credibility and one-off campaigns that may have been able to obtain through a PR and communications relationship, what will the brand look like long term? Again, does this look like investment? Does it look like expanding into new categories or eventually scaling globally? And of course, it takes talent and resources to really drive these objectives and growth. Oftentimes you're going to be looking at things like in-house hires or choosing between agencies or should you get a fractional CMO? There's a lot of decision making when it comes to brand growth and how you choose to scale a brand, especially within a competitive space like this. So early on, you typically make decisions around foundational structuring. So that means brand identity development, brand strategy, positioning. You normally would go to the support of consultants or brand consultants, brand development agencies to help you really foundationalize all of these areas. And by now, you should have done that. Um, like I said earlier, being within these competitive markets, you have to have strong positioning. You have to make sure that you do have something different. You have a differentiated story. That's in part what makes you as an independent founder so unique. And so, second to that will be awareness and credibility. Once those foundational structures have been put in place, you're now engaging partnerships within PR and communications to really drive your storytelling, provide the business with media placements, and getting in front of those core audiences so that you can build credibility. Um, that's exactly an area I would say when it comes to awareness and credibility, this is exactly an area where most founders become complacent. So we see the traditional model for decades play out within luxury fashion and beauty. There's a heavy reliance on legacy PR, communications, and creative production agencies. So all of these types of initiatives tend to create a lot of external success, vanity metrics, media impact value, even things that are really hard to measure and that don't always translate to the bottom line, like profitability. So, you know, focusing on this specific model is becoming less and less effective for independent luxury fashion and beauty founders and more beneficial to legacy brands that already are established. They have amazing management structures. They already are a well-oiled machine and they have brand equity that they've built up for decades. So, traditional agencies, PR, creative production initiatives are more so for those legacy brands that really want to push their creative boundaries forward and they want to get the one-off campaigns, collaborations, and specialized projects. Power players in a space like this, Carla Odo, KCD, Purple PR, big names that really drive and produce events, strategic partnerships, and curated placements for legacy houses. But like I said, more indie brands are going to be stepping away from this type of model, from the external appearance of success, and really focus on building a model that is 360 degrees. So multidisciplinary partnerships are very like I want to say they're hand in hand when it comes to brand management. So a brand management partnership is very multidisciplinary in nature. So, in other words, it's very holistic. There's an interconnected system that happens when you are connected to someone who sees the bigger picture, right? So, they have an overview of product, brand, and business. So, a lot of times, what you'll see is independent founders taking a more fragmented approach. They will focus on a specific area like PR and communications. Well, now they're gradually thinking more about the bigger picture as the industry becomes a lot more complex for them to navigate. So it's beyond just marketing and communications and creative projects. It is getting a real-time view of sales. It is looking at product or seasonal collection strategy. It is day-to-day brand operations. So again, you're bridging that creative vision with more sustainable commercial performance. And so this is very ideal for an independent founder who doesn't have a fully scaled team and they really want to focus on reducing in-house overhead expenses like salary costs, and build and protect their brand equity over time through ongoing brand stewardship. So the unique thing about Lord and Partners is that we work alongside founders within the luxury fashion and beauty space. We work on a very boutique level and we provide brand management that is indeed very holistic and multidisciplinary. So you're getting that ongoing evaluation, strategy, and execution across product, brand, and business. So everything that we do, we work very white glove with your brand. We understand your brand from inside and out, and we almost become an extension of you, almost acting as that marketing communications, product and sales team. So we do a lot of oversight in these areas, and we're rooted in luxury business principles. There are a lot of general agencies and consultants that do work alongside fashion and beauty brands, but they don't necessarily understand the codes of luxury. And so we focus on those areas alongside myself and the advisors that I work with. Over 10 plus years, we worked in the luxury space. We've seen legacy houses and independent luxury fashion and beauty brands be able to build brand equity. And we've engaged through creative projects, through strategic consulting. So we have, and we wing in all of that experience into this firm working alongside founders. And then also we ensure that we're a fit when it comes to your business objectives and your goals. So whether you want to remain small and significant or eventually expand and scale, that is something that we work closely with you to do. In order to determine if you are a fit for a multidisciplinary partner like Lord and Partners. You do want to ensure that you are operating independently. It would be quite difficult for us to operate with founders who are already backed by a huge conglomerate that has all the support, the resources, and capital that they needed. So this is definitely for a brand that is more focused around, obviously, their luxury focused. They are within that early to emerging growth phase, and there's a lot of talent gaps. There's some fragmentation across strategy and decision making and execution. There could be slight disorganization across operations as well. And so we work with luxury ready, marketable, credible brands that do have some press, they have clear ambitions, and plans to grow and scale. They know exactly how they want to grow and they want to scale in order for us to stand beside them and support those objectives and push them forward. Also, you want to consider your revenue growth. You want to ensure that you are capital and resource backed to some extent. It doesn't include that you have to have multi-million dollar revenue, but it's something significant where you're able to invest in a well-oiled machine. You're able to invest in a brand management partner who does operate multidisciplinary so that they're able to fulfill what it is that you are desiring to have fulfilled in the course of your entrepreneurial journey as a founder. So, with that being said, one of the ways to get started with us is through a 30-minute consultation. You want to visit lordandpartners.com to fill out our inquiry form. From there, we'll get more information. We'll discuss your brand through the consultation, and we'll learn more about how we could work alongside you and your goals for the future. Yes, I hope that this helped. Feel free to mention in the comments if you have any questions at all. And so, yeah, I'd be happy to hear from you and would love to connect. Thank you.